Sometimes trouble comes looking for you. 1, 2, 3. And that's when you have to stop. Think. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And find a way to not let it get you. Peace.
If it fits a little better, if it holds up a little longer, if it feels a little more comfortable, don't be surprised. We've had a little practice. It takes a little more to make a champion.
No one can save you now.
Hey, bet we could.
Fools, we will defeat you and take your Miller Lite. Not if we choose the weapon. Paper football, very clever. You kick off.
It's good. We are saved.
When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. You are worthy opponents. Let us celebrate. I know a good sports bar around the corner. Life is good.
Next Saturday at 1:30 Eastern, all hands on deck as the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame play their home finale against the Midshipmen of Navy. Next Saturday on NBC.
Each year, there are about 350 stories in the NBA. Here are 2 of them. That's the way it is naked. Anyway, Joe Smith is this year's #1 draft choice, and like all number ones, he's had tremendous PR even before playing an NBA game. Then there's the Detroit Pistons rookie, Don Reed. Now, if you've never heard of him, well, that's because he was the 58th and last pick in the draft. Now, what does he share with Smith? Well, the same dream, which reminds me of a song. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young. That's another song for another show. I could go on singing, but nobody really wants to hear it. So instead, let's hear from these new kids on the block.
First pick in the draft.
First pick of the draft?
First pick of the draft.
Hey, man, this is easy.
That was Joe Smith.
Joe Smith.
Joe Smith. That's Joe Smith.
Joe Smith.
First pick of the draft. He's number 32.
Number 32, Joe Smith.
Smith there for the slam.
The last pick of the draft.
The last pick of the draft. Who was the last pick of the draft?
That spells trouble.
Oh, man, it's a tough one.
I have no idea.
I don't think I even watched that far.
Who was the last pick in the draft? I was the last pick in the draft.
The Detroit Pistons select Don Reed.
When you're the first player picked, I think people expect you're going to step in and be a factor from day one.
Watch out, Joe. Watch out, Joe.
I knew it was going to be a lot of pressure when I decided to leave school. I was told I was going to be one of the top 5 picks, so I mean, no matter what, it would have been a lot of pressure.
Joe Smith is fouled as he scores. He handled that one pretty well.
No one expects you to go through a learning phase. They expect you as soon as you hit the court that you're supposed to do your job. You're supposed to have great games every night.
Don should have no pressure because, you know, people don't even expect that pick to even make your team.
Don Reed has it right side for Macon, threw it behind him.
That's definitely a rookie mistake right there.
Coach Collins came to me and said they were looking for a rebounder or somebody to defend, and I said, you know, that's me. That I wouldn't be in a starring role or anything like that. I said I've never been, so that wouldn't matter to me.
This Don Reed, he does play hard. Very physical guy.
The kid has got heart.
He's out trying to get a job and trying to establish himself and trying to prove everybody in the NBA that they were wrong not to pick him up.
She came to me and told me that because I'm so young, you know, it's my first year, that she would want to come out here and stay with me. Man, I forgot my keys.
Who is this?
Joe.
Joe who?
This is my mom. Come on in.
It's always important to have somebody look after you, especially when in your first couple of years in the NBA, because it's so easy to get out of line because all of a sudden you have all this money and all of a sudden everybody wants a piece of you.
He's no average Joe. That's my boy.
I get to stay up a little later than 10 tonight. We haven't gone over many rules, but I mean, I know that The same rules apply to when I was at home in Virginia.
Hey, Joe, you clean your room?
Hello, Mom.
What's up, dog? You gotta clean that room now, you know that.
Well, this has been my home for the last week and a half. No, never had anything like this. As you can see, it's kind of crowded in here. It's been a total learning experience the whole time. Have to excuse the mess. You can blame that on my roommate.
Oh, that's what the maids are for, you know?
This place is a nice place to visit, but I need more space.
What's up, dog? What's for dinner? Since she's out here, you know, she might as well cook me a few meals in there.
I think he's having us over next week, probably for the first home game.
Want to taste?
Yeah.
I'm bringing my whole family, kids and all.
When I come home, you know, I won't come home to an empty house. You know, I just come home and be talking to myself. She's out here for a lot of purposes, more than just a cooking.
Why does Coach call Don Chief?
We call him Chief because he's a little bit like Robert Parrish. You know, just sort of plays that stoic look and, you know, again, never says anything. How does it feel, Chief, to be in the spotlight over there, huh?
Not knowing if I made a team or not, I feel unsettled, but you know, I just have to come out there and take that out of my mind when I'm on the court. Yeah, I'm gonna try my best, you know, do what I've been doing, just working hard. I think I'm doing all right. Yeah, I wish you were here too. I miss you too. All right, bye.
Joe Smith wants to make the same difference that some other #1 draft picks have made. For example, David Robinson. As a rookie, he sparked San Antonio to a 35-game turnaround, a league record. Now, last year, the Admirals seemed on a course for a championship. He was the league's MVP, and the Spurs had the league's best record. That was before they were sunk by Houston in the conference finals. But David hopes that this is the year that his ship finally comes in.
Hopefully in the 89-90 season, which is late next year, I'll be able to go on to San Antonio and play with the Spurs.
From the moment David Robinson left the Naval Academy, the clock was ticking. When would he bring the city of San Antonio a championship?
Alan, has anybody in the NBA taken the time to tell David Robinson he's a rookie?
No. Here come the Spurs. And Johnson, 2-on-1, alley-oop.
95 was supposed to be their year.
Nobody deserves this more than we do. So let's go out there and take it.
Go.
But a loss to the Houston Rockets in the Western Conference Finals diminished an MVP season and left many unanswered questions about the upcoming year.
You know, I look at how close we got last year. I look at the work that we put in day in and day out. And our team had such a great character last year. We had guys who were able to put together a 62-win year, which is phenomenal. And now it's time for this next year. I have a new excitement and enthusiasm. I just feel that the potential is always unlimited. You never know what's going to happen, and this year is no different. I look at the group we have, and we have the same nucleus we did last year. This is a team that has a chance to go all the way to the top. The key is putting it all together, and that's what I'm looking for. The championships in the last few years, the teams that were the best teams won. Not necessarily the best players, but the best team. They were the most consistent. And that's what we're trying to accomplish here.
David remains focused, and his role remains unchanged.
My role is to be steady. It's come out and be the rock for everybody. So when I'm playing, I give that same kind of effort. I put up the same kind of numbers and do the same thing so that the guys who are coming in don't feel all the pressure. You know, you don't know how many more years you have in the league, so you take one year at a time.
Though he's nicknamed the Admiral, David says he's had a lot to learn about being a leader in the NBA. No one ever doubted his talent. The only doubt was whether he could take his team to the next level. Well, last year they took a major step, reaching the conference finals for the first time in 12 years. And now they look to take the final step to the NBA title. Well, we'll step out right now, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. Fairy tales can come true.
Sai, ho finito la mia tesi di laurea.
Bravo, nonno.
Ho fatto tutte le mie ricerche, sia dalla Indiana University. Sì. La biblioteca della facoltà. L'IBM l'ha digitalizzata. Così con internet avrò accesso alla musica quando vuoi. Sì, sono proprio next.
Is this Kid O'Neal for real? Or is it a different game he plays? Find out for yourself in this exclusive new video, Shaquille O'Neal. Larger than life. It's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Your free video takes you back in time and behind the scenes with the young superstar. Can he have his fun and still be the best? Go for a spin with Shaq and find the answers. Free from SI. Call now and you'll also get an authentic Shaq basketball, the ultimate playground ball. Plus, get 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now and get your video and Shaq ball both free from SI. There's only one Shaq, and there's nothing in the world like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Ahmad Rashad here, hitting the streets to find out what people like about Inside Stuff. What's the best thing about it?
I love Rewind.
Highlights. Highlights?
The dunks, all the information about it.
What do you like about Inside Stuff?
Jam session.
Jam session is my favorite part of the show.
Oh, I love Willow B, man.
What's the key to this show? Why is it so good?
You know why?
What?
He's the best.
Hey, there you go.
NBA Inside Stuff is the coolest show on TV.
It's fact. You gotta watch it.
There you have it, NBA Inside Stuff. Get with the program.
Watch the show.
Professional golf comes to China. Americans Fred Couples and Davis Love go for their 4th straight title. The World Cup of Golf in 2 weeks on NBC.
Match up! Match up! Right here, stay with him. No foul. No foul. Contain. Contain.
Two young teams on the rise are the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers. Last year, LA upset Seattle in the playoffs and brought back memories of Showtime. Except now they have a different nickname. They call themselves The Lake Show. Now, as for the Mavs, they are also headed in the right direction thanks to the 3 J's. They already had Jamal Mashburn and Jimmy Jackson, and last year they added the 3rd, Jason Kidd. Now, what do 3 J's spell? Spells J-J-J-J. Well, I'm not sure what they spell, but they all add up to a bright future in Dallas. It was just 2 years ago that the Dallas Mavericks hit rock bottom with a record of 13-69, worst in the NBA. But even in those dark days, there were 2 bright spots, rising young stars Jimmy Jackson and Jamal Mashburn.
Now Mashburn. We got some numbers here. Mashburn, Jackson.
Last year, they added to that nucleus by drafting a gifted point guard often compared to Magic Johnson. His name, Jason Kidd.
He's my guy. I wouldn't trade him for the world. I mean, that's the one who I want to hear in Dallas, and luckily he listened.
And with Jason running the show, the Mavs began to gel.
21 years old and a 9-year contract. If you don't have a season ticket, you better get one. He is special. Oh, is he special. Jason Kidd.
They were the league's most improved team with a 23-game turnaround that left them just short of the playoffs. Perhaps the surest sign that Kidd and Dallas had arrived came in April when they beat the Rockets in double overtime. Jason's stat line, 38 points, 10 assists, and 11 rebounds. His 3rd triple-double in 5 games.
Jason Kidd will shoot up a 3. He got it! Jason Kidd has tied the game.
You've never seen a game like this in history. I don't think there's a game like this in the history of the NBA.
This year, the Mavericks have their sights set on making the playoffs for the first time in 6 years.
I've been through a year going through a terrible season as far as winning and losses, and he's been through 2 years. And we sure didn't want him to go through it because we weren't wishing that on anybody. We don't want to be looked at upon as just 3 guys not winning. You know, we want to be a team that's winning.
The team's 3 young stars, known as the Triple J's, are a close-knit group both on and off the court.
To Triple J's on the fast break, Jamal, Jimmy.
Excuse me. Hey.
Jackson and Kidd also share a common bond. It's the rubber band each wears on his wrist.
Rubber band can stretch so far before it breaks. And when you have a symbol like that on your wrist, that really reminds you of what the future holds, but what also the past you've been through.
Next.
Let's go to the show, baby. Let's do it. Make sure 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Also rising in the West are the Los Angeles Lakers. After a one-year absence, they not only returned to the playoffs, but also did some damage.
I think everybody understood we was going to turn it around. It was just a point of win. We just did it so quickly that really caught everybody by surprise.
While the Lakers went down in the second round to the Spurs, they shocked the highly touted Supersonics in the first round.
It's not going to be a situation where we sneak up on a lot of teams. Everybody's going to be geared to try to beat the Lake Show, and that's where we wanted to be.
And while the Lakers want to mirror the success of the Laker dynasty of the 80s, they also want to create their own identity.
Got it. Well, the Lake Show is consistent of everybody pulling together as one to make one great, entertaining basketball team, one great, successful and winning basketball team.
6 across. That's what we're running. Turn it over.
You know, we're sort of just one big unit. You know, we all get along, so we have a good time.
Who you got? Just got in.
And the Lake Show is orchestrated by stellar point guard Nick Van Exel.
3 up, 3 up, 3 up.
As the new Lakers forge their own image, they also show respect for Lakers past.
See, this is a problem.
What's that?
Jerry West is so laid back and so cool, you know, it's kind of hard to catch him in this business mode because he's such a relaxed person. Basically, why I goof around with him a lot is just, you know, phenomenal that what he has done as a basketball player and a lot of things I admire about him, you know, as a friend and also as a business person.
You guys don't believe everything he says to you.
The tradition left us for a while, and it's real. It makes you feel really good in knowing that you had a hand in bringing it back.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
You must give a lot of credit to General Manager Jerry West for rebuilding the Lakers. He brought in Del Harris as coach, traded for Cedric Ceballos, and drafted Eddie Jones. But his best move was drafting Nick Van Exel in the second round when every other team passed him by. Now, the Mavs have also come a long way in a short time. When Dick Motta became coach, he talked about a 3-year plan for making the playoffs, but he may have to eat those words because they could get there 1 year ahead of schedule. Don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
NBC.
Halloween Monday.
A special night of brotherly love.
Anything can happen. What am I supposed to go as? The biggest tweet in Philadelphia?
You already got the costume. With major mix-ups.
I got the wrong kid.
Mayhem and mischief.
Aren't you guys a little old to be trick-or-treating? I don't have any candy.
Ah! And on minor adjustments, the madness continues. NBC Halloween Monday.
Bacteria that cause infection can live anywhere. That's why every cut needs the protection of Neosporin. At the microscopic level, Neosporin kills a broad spectrum of hundreds of bacterial strains. Adding Neosporin to a bandage helps cuts heal 4 days faster. Help end the threat of infection. Heal cuts faster with Neosporin. And look for easy-to-carry packets of new Neo to Go.
I live in San Jose. I like to eat at Togo's. They got more sandwiches than I've got toes. Down at my local Togo's. Sometimes I wear women's clothes when I head to Togo's. Whoa, 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 Togo's.
A favorite 49er tennis whiz, Venus Williams, Sunday night, sports final.
When you think about hotbeds of basketball, you don't normally think about Gans, Oklahoma. In fact, until now, very few people have even heard of Gans, Oklahoma. Only 300 people live there, but one of them happens to be the man they call Big Country, 7-foot center Bryant Reeves. He led Oklahoma State to the Final Four and then became the first draft pick of the expansion Vancouver Grizzlies. Now Big Country is headed for the big city in what figures to be a very big challenge, getting a brand new NBA team off the ground. The key to building a successful NBA franchise lies in selecting the right mix of players. And for the Vancouver Grizzlies, 7 foot, 300-pound Bryant Big Country Reeves was a perfect fit.
This guy looks like he could be the poster guy for that franchise. They call him Big Country, and he likes the name.
You look at from where I'm from, you know, from a town of 250 people. This is it right here. This is the main drag, and this is the only curve in town that I know of. A lot of times I'll get mail that says, you know, has my name on it, and it says Gaines, Oklahoma. That's it. And, you know, you have to kind of be careful or you run off, and they don't tell them where you'll end up that way. So I guess you could consider that country, you know, and I mean, I am big.
Making the transition from the back roads of Oklahoma to the busy streets of Vancouver will be a challenge for Reeves, but it'll also provide him and the rest of the team with a unique opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Vancouver Grizzlies.
Oh, good play to Blue Edwards. As far as starting an NBA career here, I thought it was a perfect opportunity because you're bringing basketball really to life here. Not only to the city, but also to the country.
The fun thing about it is that it is new. It is a new arena, new area, and it's teaching people about the game.
And one thing the fans will learn is that this team, like all expansion teams, will have its ups and downs.
And there's going to be a lot of nights where it's going to be very, very frustrating. But as a competitor, you know, you like that because you get to be a part of a building process.
Reeves will have the additional challenge of having to play the most physical position on the floor against the game's most talented players.
He has to adjust to that because I'm sure he isn't seeing guys his size that are much quicker, much more athletic, and just as strong, if not stronger.
You know, one night he'll go against Hakeem, and then the next night David Robertson, then Shaq, then Patrick Ewing.
You know, to be able to go up against them would be, you know, kind of like a dream come true, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to necessarily look at the box score the day after because it might be ugly.
And if the Grizzlies are to be at all competitive in their first season, they must develop some type of chemistry among their players.
One thing you have to realize is that we're all here on a different agenda. Whether you're a veteran or a rookie, you have a different agenda, and you have to bring those agendas together and go out and mesh.
I've always told myself when I got drafted to this franchise is that, you know, with 10 games left in the season, that we would still be in the playoff race. You know, that would be an accomplishment for a first-year franchise.
You know, I want to be able to go up and be considered one of the top, you know, centers in the league. And, you know, in order for me to do that, I think, you know, at times it's going to be a slow process. But, you know, you have to look at it. You have to be able to go out and work hard and just see yourself improving all the time.
We do want to clear one thing up. It's about Big Country's first plane ride. Now, several years ago, you know how they say that chewing gum unclogs your ears? Well, he supposedly got a piece of gum from a teammate, then went back and asked for another piece, saying, I need some gum to put in the other ear. Well, I asked Big Country about that. Not only does he say it didn't happen, he also said if it did, it wouldn't be funny. So I guess that's the end of that. He does admit, though, he once caught 500 fish in 3 hours. But that's a story we don't have time for right now because we're going to take a break and come back right after this.
If it fits a little better, if it holds up a little longer, if it feels a little more comfortable, don't be surprised. We've had a little practice. It takes a little more to make a champion.
Some of the NBA's biggest stars as they slam and jam in 6 action-packed videos featuring exclusive behind-the-scenes footage you just can't find anywhere else. Call 1-800-999-VIDEO and get the video of your choice each for just $19.98. NBA Video. I love this stuff.
4th and inches, Coach Bannon, he likes to punt.
Huh? No way.
Oh!
Check this out. Attention, Coach Bannon. Go for it. Be a man.
Oh, what do you know, Steve? They're going to go for it. Just a reminder, when you've got the great taste of an ice cold Miller Lite, life is good.
Do you like my new hat?
Kozak drops back to pass.
Jones is open in the end zone.
Throws it to Jones, who dropped the ball.
Bad call.
Should have punted.
Yep.
You've done it over and over again. In practice, in your mind. Focus. Now it's all there. The balance, the elbow, the follow-through, focus. You can tell as it leaves your hand. It's so right. Your teammates anticipate it. And your opponent, he fears it. Because he knows that there will be no rebound.
The world's largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament hits Hawaii with Dr. J's team of NBA legends on the Court of Dreams. Hoop it up next Saturday.
Hoop it up.
Welcome back. In New York, they have not only changed coaches, but also designers. Pat Riley and Armani suits are out. Don Nelson and Tommy Hilfiger are in. But Nelly's also brought a new style of basketball, high scoring and up-tempo. It's brought him success in the past, but can it work with a Knick team built around tough defense and grinded-out offense? Well, we'll soon find out as Nelly, Patrick Ewing, and the veteran Knicks make one more push for a championship.
And the Houston Rockets are the world champions of 1994.
Down to three, down to two, Ewing, and it's all over. The Indiana Pacers have defeated the New York Knicks. And now many questions concerning the New York Knicks. And Pat Riley in his 4th season as head coach. Is this the end of the era?
This is a man that we feel can be a great leader for this club for many years to come. The new coach of the Knickerbockers, Don Nelson. Nelly?
With the arrival of Don Nelson, Patrick Ewing and the Knicks are learning a new system. Pat Riley's half-court game is now giving way to Nelly's free-flowing offense.
I'm not going to be the same coach as Pat Riley. I think our personalities are different. But I think this team will respond just fine to me.
I think it's going to be a fresh approach. I think it's something that was much needed. I think Coach Riley did all he can with us for 4 years. Now we have a new coach with a new system, which is going to help us a little bit.
Don't shoot the early one. See what you've got for it. Play with them a little bit. That's the fun part of basketball.
Well, I'm really honored to be part of the Knicks. You know, it's just a great job and a great opportunity for me. We're definitely going to have to, you know, go through some changes and definitely going to have to change the way that we play a little bit. But I think over the long haul, it's going to be a great opportunity for me and for the ball club.
So you can just see in his style of coaching that he's just really excited to be here.
Go, go, go!
And that makes a lot of difference in the players' minds when the coach wants to be here and wants to be a part of this. And it's going to be a fun year.
Nelson has a chance to revive a team that fell a game short of the Eastern Conference Finals last year, a team that hasn't won an NBA title in 23 years.
Well, it's a great situation for me here in New York, but it's also a tough one. I came here because I think this team has an opportunity to win. I don't think we'll be the favorites, probably far from it. But I think in a playoff situation, this team can win and go as far as we possibly can. Hopefully that'll be all the way. I'm really happy to be here. I'm back in the Big Apple now and here for good, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Don Nelson is one of many people on the move as the season begins. There have not only been coaching changes, but also a lot of trades and free agent signings. It seems as if everybody's changing uniforms also, even the defending champion Rockets. They have the same players, but the uniforms are now blue, red, silver with pinstripes. Just another little fashion note. Anyway, here's a look at the new faces who are moving to new places. The Washington Bullets pulled off a big deal acquiring all-star point guard Mark Price from the Cleveland Cavaliers. But Cleveland wasn't done. Dan Marley and Hot Rod Williams exchanged suits, with Marley going to Cleveland. And Chicago picked up a wild card in the preseason that they hope will bring them back to the finals.
I think I'm just part of the components that runs this computer. That's it. That's all.
A change of heart? Well, Dana Barrow signed as a free agent with the Celtics.
Barrows, give him a three!
And B.J. Armstrong, who can play point guard or shooting guard, gives Golden State a jack of all trades. There was also plenty in the cards for Detroit, where Doug Collins left the broadcast booth to return to the sideline.
I don't know if I ever thought I'd ever be a Detroit Piston. In fact, all they're doing is pulling out all these old sound bites of me being in Chicago talking about how much I hated the Pistons, so all that has changed now.
As we saw earlier, the Magic have to do some quick reshuffling, as Shaq could be sidelined up to 2 months. Until then, Penny Hardaway and company will have to hold down the fort.
Well, that's just, you know, it happens. This is a contact sport, and getting hurt is a part of it.
Last year, Orlando was taken to the limit in the Eastern Finals by Indiana. With Reggie Miller and Rick Smits leading virtually the same cast, the Pacers are hungrier than ever.
You know, we have a great opportunity right here, and we have to seize the moment. There's always talk about getting there and being there and how good it feels, but you never know till you get there and feel it.
The Knicks have bitter memories of last year's second-round exit, but with Patrick Ewing fully healed from injuries, they are once again a team to be reckoned with. In Charlotte, the Hornets come off their best season ever. They have two of the game's best young players in Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson, and the return of Kendall Gill should solidify their defense.
Defensively, I think it'll be the biggest thing that I'll add to the team. You know, guarding people like Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller. I think this team needs that.
The Washington Bullets have put together a young and talented team, but they've suffered a setback as Chris Webber will miss the first 6 weeks with a separated shoulder. In the West, the Houston Rockets are ready to make a run at a three-peat. Hakeem Olajuwon missed the preseason with back and elbow injuries, but he'll be ready to go on opening night. Joining Houston and San Antonio as Western contenders are the Phoenix Suns. Following off-season knee surgery, Charles Barkley is back for another shot at the title.
No, I don't think we're going to surprise people. I think they know we're one of the 3 or 4 best teams, and there's no surprise. There's 6 teams that can win the championship, and we're one of them.
The Seattle Supersonics have something to prove, especially at playoff time. They've lost in the first round each of the past 2 years.
The lights are going out in Seattle again. Signs of a power failure for the Supersonics.
We know we're a much better team in the playoffs than what we've performed in the last 2 years. But, you know, you still have to prove that.
But Gary Payton and Sean Kemp will team up once again, and newcomer Hersey Hawkins adds outside shooting help. It's a familiar tune for the Utah Jazz, led as always by the dynamic duo of John Stockton and Karl Malone. They hope to be strengthened by the return of injured center Felton Spencer. Don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
All your favorite NBA players. 4 new card designs. 5 collectible insert sets. 2 limited edition cards per pack. Fleer NBA basketball. Oh yeah, watch out for hot packs.
Introducing Membership Rewards from American Express, a rewards program that makes every dollar you spend add up to a world of choices just by using the card. For a gift, something you need. The possibilities seem endless, and all of them are free. With the Membership Rewards program, you decide where to use your rewards and what works best for you. So enroll today in Membership Rewards. Call 1-800-AXP-EARN.
CARE is here to help people help themselves. The progress is really remarkable in Zambia. People work so hard to improve their lot in life. And these people are really willing to learn now. I think Dikembe Mutombo understands that the power inside these people is really phenomenal. I know Mutombo will bring home one important thought. A little care can make a world of difference.
Next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern, an NFL on NBC doubleheader. First, 2 high-powered teams collide when Jeff Hostetler and the Raiders face Blake Pickens and the Bengals. Then, a black and blue battle in the Windy City. The Bears host the Pittsburgh Steelers or regional action.
The NFL on NBC, made in America, played in America.
Last but certainly not least in our NBA special is Michael Jordan. He is back, and I mean really back. After 2 months of intense conditioning, he says he's in better shape than ever, and he'll have an entire season to shoot for his 4th NBA title. He will also have help from his new Bulls teammate, a man who proves that blondes have more fun and more rebounds. His name is Dennis Rodman. Actually, Dennis was blonde yesterday. There's no telling what color his hair is today. Michael, on the other hand, doesn't have to worry about hair color. All he's concerned about is just being the Jordan of old. Michael, I watched for a period of 3 or 4 years the spotlight on you become so bright as one of the world's greatest athletes that it actually became hot, that you had to take a break from it for a little while. But were you ready for it to start again when you came back last year?
You know, deep down, I wanted to be ready, but I don't think I was really ready from a basketball standpoint.
Marv, there's a lot of special moments in NBA basketball. Usually the opening game of the season, the playoffs, 7th game of the series, the finals. I don't know about you, but I got the goosebumps for this one.
You know, I went through the baseball thing for 18 months, and when I came back to basketball, the physical and the mental was not on the same page.
He gets to the painted area with a left hand, missed it though.
Was it tough on you during the playoffs last year that after doing so many superhuman things, all of a sudden you were starting to look a little human? And people were starting to say, well, wait a minute, there's a turnover here, a turnover there. Were those things bothering you?
Yeah, that bothered me because for years I've always was aware that you're always going to be judged on, you know, what you do on that basketball court, the last impression that you leave on that basketball court.
Watch out, airmail.
And I've always tried to do that, you know. And here I was, you know, really not in sync with myself, but yet I was being judged on what I was doing on the basketball court. And that bothers me. And as much as deep down in my heart I knew I could still do it, but I wasn't doing it. And they have, I mean, quite honestly, they had a right to criticize that. And I think with that criticism, it gave me energy to come back and say, okay, I got a challenge now. You know, they don't think I can do this, that, whatever. It's just going to take me a little while to get myself back together.
Had you ever played as much basketball in the offseason as you played this last offseason?
I used to play maybe my first or second year in the league. I used to go back to North Carolina, work on my degree. I used to play a lot with some of the players there, but this summer was the most I played in quite some time. Golf was secondary. Clubs was in the water, they were gone.
For the first time in a long time.
Because I had a lot to prove now, you know, and I haven't had that in a while.
When you came back last year, all the headlines said, I'm back. But as we look forward to this year, are the Bulls back?
I think so. We made some unbelievable acquisitions over the summer with Dennis, Randy Brown, with the young kid, Jason Caffey. We have all the right pieces in the right areas. We lost BJ, which is a big loss to us. I think we really don't know how much of a loss he's going to be to us until, you know, the time comes about midseason, maybe a playoff. But all the good things are in place. Good rebounder, good bench, good all-around player, good defensive team. We may have a good enough chance to win quite a few.
You and I have sat around and talked. I remember one particular time we were talking about great players. And I was bringing up all these scores and talking about Julius Irving and players of that caliber. And all of a sudden you said that one of the most dominant players in basketball was Dennis Rodman.
Very few players make an all-star team off of his defense or rebound. Scotty and I, we talk about it all the time. We sit down, we watch him, and it's good to have him on our team instead of facing it back. He is by far the best rebounder I've ever seen. He doesn't have the oversized physique to really help him in that. I mean, he just gets heart and desire and the ability to go get the ball.
And as we read last year when you came back, and it says, I'm back, this year, you're really back.
I think I am. If I'm not, then I'll be gone. If I'm not back, I'm gone.
The retooled Michael Jordan should be better than ever. Now, here's an analogy. Some people could work out every day, and it would be like rebuilding an old Volkswagen. No matter how much work you do or how much paint you put on it, it's still a Volkswagen. But with Jordan, what you're doing is taking a Ferrari, tuning it up, and making a new and improved Ferrari. Now, that was an analogy. I didn't say it was a good one, but it was an analogy. The 96 model hits the showroom this Friday night. But this show has reached the end of the road, so thanks for joining us on our NBA preview, The Race for the Rings. So long, everybody.
Rebound. Back. Hey, you want me to go? Hey.
No, stay.
Yes! Good pass, boy. Look. Stay there. Come on down.
NBC Tuesday.